One of the industries that we're focusing on, or one of the sub-industries if you like, is e-commerce. And my involvement with e-commerce goes back to about 1996 when I first met a person called Andrew Farris. He was running an advertising agency at the time, and he told me that he was establishing an online shopping mall. So I said, yes, of course you are. And we had to learn together what that might mean in terms of the legal requirements, the contractual requirements, understanding who his suppliers were and who he was then going to provide this shopping mall to, or how he was going to earn some revenue from it. So what were all those relationships, and what sort of agreements did he need to have in place? So that was a really interesting period in terms of my understanding and learning of e-commerce. And since that time, Andrew has fully immersed himself in e-commerce and has been involved and developed some of the biggest and most successful e-commerce sites in our country. And I've worked with him on various of those, giving him legal advice and so on. So he was a natural fit when I was looking for an e-commerce expert for our panel of experts, to call upon Andrew and say, Andrew, would you like to be involved in that way?
I first started in IT back in 1995, and at that stage it was a fledgling industry, and we started off by building New Zealand's first grocery supermarket home shopping system. And of course we sort of had a baptism in fire there, because it was very early days, and even around the contracting it was new territory. So there wasn't a lot that was sort of templated, or a lot that went before that. None of the lawyers really knew what should be in and what shouldn't. And we were dealing with a corporate, so of course it needed to be comprehensive from their point of view, and they were out to sort of protect their position. So we ended up with quite a lengthy document, but on reflection it was in a lot of ways quite naive and had a lot of holes in it. IT is difficult at the best of times, and it's all about the detail. So we soon learnt that we had to be very prescriptive in what we did up front, and that needed to be backed up and wrapped up in e-commerce contracts, or project contracts, which were, while at the same time as being quite tight and prescriptive, had to be sort of a partnership at the same time. So you had to hit that sweet spot of working with a client well and in a sort of reasonably relaxed way, but having the bases covered so you didn't end up getting into trouble. Anne's expertise is very clear. Once you go through the process and the interlocking nature of the various documents that you need to put together for the project, they fit very neatly. And so therefore, they're also explainable to your client. So you can get your client in, and a lot of buy-in from the client to see the way the process works. It maps out the way the project will work to them, for them and us. And because of the clarity of it all, I think it's a very good way to build confidence with the client.